Welcome everyone. It's Wednesday. Um, today's theme is in part inspired by this guy Leonard Cohen, whom I'm a big fan of. And he, in one of his songs, Anthem, he says there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. And I think it sort of echoes. Rumi had a poem as well where he talked about how the wound is the place where the light enters you. The same idea. I think just reflecting this sense of sometimes when things are feeling a little bit rough or challenging, that's when we can either resist it and push against it and run away, or as Pema Chodron would say, just stay. So just stick with it and realize that whatever's coming up is probably something that there's some gold in there, something to learn, some kind of light. And let's see, for me personally, over the last few days, I've noticed a kind of blunted, slightly depressed affect, a sense of withdrawal, and just yeah, it happens. There clearly there's something there that I need to process and figure out. And so, taking this to heart, here's the approach that I've been trying to take with this. It's a technique called RAIN. It's an acronym that stands for these 4 distinct steps. So the first one is to recognize what is happening. So this is like mindfulness 101. If we can't see it and we're just in complete reactive mode, it's really hard to do anything about it or really to engage with it. So the first step is really just to slow down and begin to notice, oh yeah, I'm feeling kind of withdrawn, a little bit of low energy, and to first just notice that, and then secondly to allow it. So I think there's this very natural tendency when something feels uncomfortable or unpleasant, we just don't want to deal with it. We don't like pain. We don't like discomfort. And so the trick here is to lean into it and allow the experience to be there. So just as it is, without trying to change it or modify it or make it wrong. So first recognize it, and then just cultivate the capacity to stay with the experience, and then investigate. And this is, applying some curiosity and asking the question, okay, what is this about? Like, what is being asked of me here? Or what is this emotional experience or the sensations in the body or my mental affect? What is going on there? And obviously to do so with curiosity and kindness. It's not a berating, oh, get over it, you should, or that's silly. It's really just leaning into it and saying, okay, let me see, let me explore what's happening there. And then the last step is to nurture. So practicing some self-compassion and trying to, and again, the key with self-compassion is there is a sense of agency there, right? So it's not about just wallowing or feeling like I'm a hapless victim, but rather being able to lean into it and say, okay, there are probably some steps that I can take here to move myself in a different direction if I want to. And oftentimes we just need to hang out in whatever space that we're in and just allow it to be for a while before we can actually really start the nurturing part. So I thought let's practice that today and see if it's helpful. So as always, let's start with our eyes closed. Let's bring our attention straight to the breath. And imagining with each inhalation, we're taking in whatever is happening. And then with each out breath, just letting it go. Using breath as a metaphor for part of this process here. And slowing things down. I think it's really key to be able to slow things down so we can actually begin the first part, which is to recognize what's happening. So see if you can, maybe there's something going on in your life right now that feels uncomfortable, stressful. upsetting. It doesn't have to be, on a scale from 1 to 10. Keep it at a 5 or a 6. Not the most traumatic experience that you've had, but let's practice with something a little bit easier. But something that nonetheless has some sting to it or some energy behind it. Just begin by recognizing it, just seeing it. And like we practiced on Monday, making direct contact with the experience. And then look for telltale signs in the body where that experience lives. Some good places to explore or do a quick scan of are your throat, your chest, the belly, noticing sensations, and really get curious about where am I feeling this? And also getting curious about the cognitive part here. So what's the story? What's the narrative that the mind is creating around this situation? And moving into allowing. So even if these sensations or the thoughts feel uncomfortable or unpleasant, breathe, breathe it in, back out. And see if you can just sit in the middle of all of it without trying to change it, without needing it to go away. Allowing is different than wallowing or self-pity. Allowing is about really sitting in the middle of it, simply acknowledging that this is how it is right now. We don't have to agree with it or like it in order to allow it. And then begin to investigate, get curious. What's being asked of me here? What is the body trying to communicate? What is it that needs my attention? And this is a kind-hearted inquiry. It's kind of a loving curiosity. Again, with each inhalation, taking it all in, and with every exhale, letting go, recognizing, allowing, investigating. And then nurturing is is all about compassion. I like to put my hand on my heart. It's really about self-compassion here. And given what is happening, and given how it's affecting us, just allowing it. Now comes the question of now what? Do I want to stay here and just keep feeling this? It's totally fine. Is this something I'd like to shift? And if so, how? It involves a sense of agency. And the key here is to notice the tone of voice in your mind. If there's any part of it that feels angry or annoyed or impatient, again, just notice that. See if you can gently shift it to something that sounds a little more compassionate and kind. Remembering now with each in breath and out breath, as we breathe in, we're recognizing, we're allowing, we're investigating and nurturing. And with each out breath, let it go, let it be. And oftentimes I've found that this doesn't require any specific or concrete action plan. So we're not walking out the other end of this with, 5 things that I need to do before noon. It's really just about leaning into it and opening up to possibilities of how we might nurture ourselves in this situation and then just settle into it. It's a very gentle process. Let's take a deep breath in, long exhale out through the mouth, letting go, and then hold the exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then another deep inhale, long exhale through the mouth, letting go, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and open your eyes and come on back. And just noticing letting the body breathe on its own, and maybe take a quick inventory of how do you feel now. We did that for about 9 minutes, and are you noticing any shift in your mindset or how your body feels? And again, quick reminder: this is free. You can do it anytime you want. As far as I know, you can't really overdo this too much. So I hope that was useful, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. I'll stick around if anyone wants to connect.